Guys, welcome back. I will be delivering value as promised about Clay, and I will show you how you can get phenomenal results. So one thing you can take of this video, you're going to see how to reach out to people who's actually looking for your service right now and most likely to engage with you immediately. This is some of our campaigns that's currently live. You're talking about 2% average deliverability reply rate, and we're talking about 30 to 40% positive reply consistently. So let me show you what you can expect in that table and what you can see in this Clay outcome, like the outcome that you're going to get out of this video. So if that aligned with your expectation, you can continue because it might be a little bit long. If not, happy days, you can find something else to watch. So basically in this table, you will learn how to get people job post and automation. So let's say you want to reach out to someone to sell an SEO service. Who would be the best person to reach out to? Someone who's currently actually looking for SEO service. And this means demand capturing. So you're capturing the demand that people are actually looking for something. So this is fully automated evergreen campaign where the job post, the people who are hiring, you get them automatically on a table and then you pass them on another table. And what happened is automatically you look, all right, have you reached out to these people before? And did you do the enrichments before? If yes, like this one, it will tell you that, okay, match found. So you never run an enrichment again and you don't reach out to them at all, right? The second thing that happened in this table that you enrich the company, so you will get automatically more information about this company detail. And this is not a Clay enrichment. So this is custom APIs. So I will show you how you can use custom APIs from outside to save credit on Clay and be able to like build the table that actually will be very cost effective at the end. Once you enrich the company and you get the information, how you can filter the people who you don't need. So you filter based on company size, you filter based on, all right, if they're a recruitment company, if they're a marketing company, if they actually like within your size criteria that you would like to reach out to or not. And if yes, you'll add them to a table so you don't enrich this table anytime in the future, these companies anytime in the future. And then how you can find the person that you want to reach out to in a cost-effective manner through different ways. And then how to find their emails if you couldn't find it. And then if you couldn't find it, how to run waterfall enrichment. And if so, you pass it to the email marketing tool that you use and it automatically shoots an email. And basically this is an evergreen campaign because you can put it in a complete automation. As you see here, I have an API that actually calling will be, let's say this table, you can say to run every 24 hours. And once it runs, it will basically once it run, get you the job post and pass it to Clay. Clay run the table, pass it to the email marketing tool, shoot the email, and it's an infinite loop. It's evergreen campaign. So this is what this video is going to be about, how to build this table and how to think of the logic. So this video, even if you want to build another table, my goal here is to pass the thought process of building the table itself because every use case is different. So you can customize the table the way you prefer later on. All right. Without further ado, let's talk about it. So there's two things that I want to elaborate on here really quick. There is demand capturing and there is demand generation. If you want to learn more about the topic, so go to Daniel Fazio. Shout out to him. I learned a lot from him. So basically the logic here, if you're going to do reach out on a people on a signal based, these people are most likely to engage because there's a signal that they are looking for what you're offering at this exact moment. If you're doing this for one of your clients, that will be phenomenal way to do it, right? Demand generation, where you stress on people pain points and then you try to trigger curiosity, offer them service-based lead magnet. Also, Daniel Fazio is talking more about that. And then you offer them solution to that. And you generating the demand itself by pressing on their pain points and then like converting them into clients. So these two different methods. In this video, we'll be talking about demand capturing. So people are hot looking for that service itself. So for a second, let's think about, okay, I'm offering SEO services, all right, for companies. So I want to reach out to companies who are actually looking for SEO. There's two ways to do that. There's one way that's a little bit manual, that requires a little bit of input in daily basis. or every 2 days. It depends. I will expand on that. And there's a way that's completely fully automated, and I will tell you the pros and cons of each. So manual pause. So let's say this is the one that actually required a little bit of input. So if you come in here, so basically you have a table where the whole workflow gonna run, and then you have another table where you get basically the job post leads, and then this table pass the leads automatically to the other workflow, and the workflow run pass it to the email marketing tool and keep going. So there is a table where we will be monitoring a webhook that's going to come from make.com API, and there is this table that requires a little bit manual. So in here, what you will need to do in daily basis, you come in here, add the titles. Let's say the signal here, you have a recruitment company client, or you're looking for someone who you're offering email marketing services. So you need someone who's hiring for email marketing. So you're looking for someone actually who is doing email marketing. Or you can search by job description. So here you can use Klaviyo, you can use MailChimp, any other keywords that actually would make sense that these people are looking for that thing at that exact moment, right? And then you add the location, let's say United States. And then, okay, here's why it's manual. So you add the parameters, you smart guys, you know how to navigate these things. You add all right, I need it full time. Do you need it with a recruiter or not? Let's say not in that case. Here's how soon you will interact, or how soon it requires, how frequent it requires your input actually. If you need to reach out to people on daily basis, the moment, like the same day they post a job, you will need to do it on daily basis, because you need to come here and add one, which means this job post has been posted 1 day ago. So the leads are hot, the job posted today. So the faster you reach out, that like you will stand out, because your email gonna go personalized. I will expand more on that when we come to the workflow. And then you can also reach out before anybody else reach out to them. So then looking for, all right, the limit per company, one job post per company. I'm looking here because this is a task. Let's say, let's go for 20. And then you preview jobs, right? So once these, all right, something is wrong in here. What it could be, email marketing, Python, United States, full-time as a recruiter, posted since 2 days, let's say, maybe the time zone. Alrighty, let's see. Let's leave it. Oops, let me pause here really quick and redo this action. Oh, my bad. I figured out. So basically in here, when you run this, you need to clear this from here, because otherwise you will be searching in these companies itself. So once we click here, everything should be fine. Let's give it a second. Generating your preview. Then, all right, here we go. Then we got the job post. So you click in here, add them to the current table. Once you do that, we have in here, so they will be added in here. And here you have something called write to other table. Do you see what happened? So this table passed the information to the workflow, right? So what happens is we will run the workflow together, so you see everything live. So you come in here, all right, what is write to other table? Basically, you're telling Clay, once the leads come in from this column, you map the column in here with the column where you need the data to reflect on the other table, right? Why are we doing this? We're not doing this on the other flow, because you can play with the other flow the way you want, and you need this to be different, because you can have different triggers to this table, and every trigger in a different. So this is a job post, and then you can have another table for another job title that you passed. Like, you can play around with this and you will get what I mean later. Once you map the columns in here, then automatically the data going to be reflected. So the LinkedIn URL, which is the job post itself, will come up in here. So if we take that and we go here to LinkedIn, I'm not logged in here. You see that there's active job post 2 months ago based on the dates you entered, basically, and it's still live actually. Then you, oh, that's an old one. So if we take this one in here, add it in here, my bad. Then this one is 2 days ago, matching the criteria we entered, because that's a table that I was testing about preparing for that video, my bad. And then, all right, then you pass the information from the job post in here. So what you need to do first, there's something called lookup row. So you will be spending money on these lines as a credit, right? So the last thing you want to be doing is to run enrichments and credits to companies that you have reached out to in the past. So what we do, you build a sheet, a simple, very simple sheet, right? And then this sheet, I can't open it because it will be in the video. This sheet will just have the columns, and then you have in here, you mark this in here real quick. I'll try to blur this or something. Okay, you're asking Clay to look up for the company domain in that sheet. And if it's found, then it will tell you, yes, I found it. If it doesn't, then it will tell you no row found. And then why we do that? Because, all right, let's run this here. Run on the first 10 rows. Then it's gonna run on these and tell you if it found it or not, found match. Because in the other enrichments, we have a condition that's telling Clay, if the row is found before, don't run. So if you see that here, okay, we know now that we haven't reached out to this company before, then yeah, all right, let's reach out to them. You see the full-time job, the date that job created, if it's updated, and you see the job posted date. You see everything basically related to this job post. Then, all right, I've got the company information, but the job post information, but I need to know more information about this company before I decide I want to reach out to them. Maybe they are a recruitment company. So unless you want to reach out to recruitment companies, like they will never need your SEO service as example, or email marketing in that case, because they're hiring for that title for their client. So they are not a decision maker in that case. So here, if we run this enrichment, you will see that because this row is found, it will not run. It will run the other rows only. And then it will get you more information about these companies. Then, all right, the information will start to populate. Usually we have an O2 update on that table. So once a lead comes in, the whole thing run and the lead goes, but we're running step by step together. Then, okay, you get some of the leads, maybe some gets an error. We will get to that later with the API. Here, you will not charge it. There's an API error, okay? So you got the company information. Then you got, all right, the company tagline, the industry, company LinkedIn profile. You can look at it. All right, this is the company, and you get the company description, all the description they have on LinkedIn, the number of employees, the phone number, and then, all right, then what we need to do is we need to filter, right? There's something called formula. So here I have, like, you can do it by just coming in, add action. You can come in here, add on the right, and then you choose formula. And once you choose formula, you tell it what I need. So in here, let's look at the current formula. That will be easier. So this is the staff count. This is not the formula, phone number. All right, staff count filter. So I have a filter in here. I'm telling Clay, check if staff count that coming from the API, this is the name of the column, is between 8 and 500 number of employees. Then your output should be, go ahead, if it's between this number. If not, your output should be done. If it's empty, your output should be done. And then you will see here a small visualization on actually, is it go ahead or don't? It's empty, so it's done. If it's between, all of them is basically between the parameters, so all of them are go ahead. Then this is the first filtration layer, because if Microsoft is hiring, you don't want to reach out to them, of course. So you need to filter based on your parameters. The second thing I have it here as a filter is I check if the recruitment company or not. So I have a filter in here that, all right, I need to exclude in a recruitment company. You can take this prompt, or you can ask GPT and it will help you draft this prompt, and you can add as many keywords as possible. And here I'm running it on the industry, but something else that you can do is run it on the company description as well, because you have it in here. And then you click in here and you choose the column where, all right, company tagline or a company description in here. And it will also check for these keywords on their description or not. So here, this is excluding any recruitment keywords. If there's any recruitment companies in here, no. So all of them are go ahead. If one of them are a recruitment, it will tell you don't. And then if you are a lead generation service, right? If you are a marketing company, you don't want to reach to other marketing companies because they will not work with you, most likely. So here, this one is advertising. And here I'm looking for the same thing. If it has any of these keywords, your output should be done. You'll see here, go ahead for all the services, and here for marketing, it's done. So you don't reach out to companies. And then I have 3 filters. Then I have something called the final filter. What is the final filter? The final filter is checking if any of these contains the word done, then your output should be done. If all are go ahead, your output should be go ahead, basically. So that's will, all right, this go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, then this is going to be go ahead. This go ahead, and done, then the final will be done. Why we do that? Because when we run the other enrichment, we don't need to waste credit on anything that doesn't match these parameters. And usually once you run your filters, you run the add row, because that will add them to the database for the future, where you're going to check for these leads before you run any future enrichment. So here, now all of them will be added in here. So later on, when a new leads comes in, if there's a duplicate, it will be one row found like this one, and it will not run again. So you will not waste any credit, basically. Right? We need to speed up. We reached 17 minutes anyway. So there's multiple ways to run the enrichment, right? So you can use Clay Credit, and I explained about Clay Credit, or you can use custom APIs, right? I will explain more about the custom APIs, and we'll show you how we actually do that. I guess we should do it now because we already passed the enrich company part. So basically, you can go to any open market, something like, okay, like Rapid API, and then you can look here for any API you want, right? So let's say if we go here for, let me pause and pick a nice API. This is one of the APIs that I use. So basically, if you look in here, you see that you can perform any of these actions. Like you want to enrich company. The company information that we just got in here is actually came from that API. So basically, like think about it. Like if we take, you go in here and search, okay, I need company, I need get company details. This is the API itself, right? Then you can click in here on example responses. You will see what kind of data you will be getting if you call this endpoint, right? And you can test it out to see what kind of data you're going to get once you run it. And then, all right, happy days. All right, that's interesting data. What is the parameters that's required? The company username. You need to think, okay, do I have the company username or not? All right, no. Why? Because I have only the domain. Then get company by domain. And then if you add the domain in here, and then let's say apple.com, let's add booking.com. And then you call this endpoint, and then it will get you the data. And let's wait and give it a second. All right, field request. All right, let's try apple.com. So basically, it works perfectly fine. This API I'm using, and this is the one we just used in here. And if you see here on Enrich Company, you will see the API key, and then you add the company domain as a query string. And if it requires any headers, you add it in here. All right, this is the key. And probably I need to blur that. And then this is the host, which is the information that they, all right, here we go. So you got the company information, you got their LinkedIn, you got the description. If that's the information you need and you're happy with it, you basically, all right, use the code snippet in here and call it from Clay, same like I did. you here add the endpoint, the domain or the string itself, the headers, and then you call this endpoint. And something important, you always need to add request limit so you don't overdo, because every API need have a limit. So why we do that instead of using Clay? Because that will save you a lot of money. Because in here you can enrich, let's say, 10,000 companies for $50. You can do up to 30,000 requests and 10,000. So the higher they have a higher plans. So the higher you go, the cheaper it will become. But I use this for demand capturing. So this is not a volume game. This is a quality game. If you want to play a volume game, then you're going to go for demand generation, because this one, you need to find a signal and you cap by the number of signals you actually can find. And that's a very important thing to keep an eye on. So here, this is when I talk about this API. And then if we continue, all right, we added them to a row. Then, all right, we need to enrich that person. Then you have multiple ways to do that. You can use Clay Credit. You can use Apollo API. So you get Apollo API key. And once you get your key, all right, tell them I need to find this titles, and then you put the company domain, the locations, and you always need to add this filter. Only run if the final filter that we built based on the 3 filters is go ahead, because like we did that filters not to run in your enrichments, except on the ones that actually match your ICP. So that's the most important thing. And then, all right, let's run this one. Let's give it a go. Let's see what happens. All right, not run condition not found, because don't, and here's don't. All right, here we found 2 leads in here really quick. You got their information, and then, all right, you can, here, you don't have to do that action through Clay, sorry, Apollo. What you can do is look for a cheap, affordable API. There's some that I'm gonna recommend that gets you that information. So let's try that really quick. Does this API have get person information, search people, get profile data by URL? So this is the API. Example responses, it requires a username as a trigger. All right, what kind of information you have here as a trigger is the company domain, right? So you use company domain to get the person itself. So let me pause and look for it so that don't make this video longer. So this API doesn't have except search employees with the company ID. So in that case, like that's an interesting use case that we can expand on. So let's say if you go to LinkedIn, and once you go to LinkedIn, find any company that comes in front of me. And then if you go to this company, I just want to show you the power of Clay. Then if you click on that company, you like click in here. All right. You should find the company ID in here, right? So if you want to do something like that with Clay as an example, right? Let's see, do we have any company ID? All right, company LinkedIn URL. So what you can do is here with formulas, like I just want to show something like so you can understand. Here you can use formula, and then you can write to Clay what you actually want to do. So usually, like let's say you can explain usually the company ID for LinkedIn comes after slash, and let's say after, like try to find a way to add the slash, and then I don't know how to do slash, but maybe you can try writing it after the slash. This is the company URL, and then you add the company, like let's say URL, and you need to separate it, let's say, and you click. Let's see this stupid input and output. All right, that's a really interesting. I just like you need to play around with it, and then it looks at the API, like the URL, and split it. And then, okay, then if you want to call that API that require that output, then you put this as a new column. All right, output save formula. Where did this go? Okay, here we go. And then you use this as an input for your API call before you call the endpoint as a parameter. That, because that's what's required in this API. Let's say if it requires the key, then you add in here and you call it. So, but back to where we were talking is, you don't have to use Apollo to call and enrich people. You can think about, okay, if I use Clay credit for the whole line, it's going to cost me X per credit. If I use Apollo, it's going to cost me X per credit per API. You can find this information by just going to Apollo and then go to integration setting, integration, API, enrichment, and then you will find it. And then just do the math. All right, if the line costs you, let's say 3 credit, all right, that's no brainer, because to get 1,000 leads will cost you 3,000 credit. That was you cut X, and then you do the math based on your reply rate, and you will be able to like get some leads and get some deals out of that, right? Alrighty, where are we right now? I forgot, actually, I'm talking too much. Sorry about that. All right, so find people. We found the leads itself. Okay, but we don't have their emails. So you can enrich them through Apollo API, or you can use any of the APIs I showed you. There's some APIs that other people recommended, like Eric. Let me pause and recommend that API for you guys. It's a good one. Alrighty, here we go. This is the API. You can visit this website, Pro APIs, and you can look at their pricing, and you can buy some credit, and you will be able to see, right, what kind of endpoints you can call and what kind of information this endpoint's actually going to get back to you, and then you can continue. So the point that we were talking about is, all right, let's enrich the person to speed up the process a bit. Once you, all right, enrich the person, then it will get you more information about him. If it gets you the email, that's interesting. If it doesn't, then you will have another waterfall enrichment run after that. So basically, here you run and you found that. And then, okay, let's validate this email. So run condition is not met. Let's look actually, what is the run conditions that we do have in here? So you run here, run only if this have any value. So a new value came in here, then you run this one. This one doesn't have any value, so this one's not gonna run. All right, validate it and done, happy days. If this one doesn't run for some reason, it's not valid for any reason. So let's run, this one doesn't have email, but we need this guy email. Hopefully we find him through the waterfall. What is waterfall? It's basically you add 4 or 5 tools where they are required to get you the emails that you can't find through your workflow. So you make workflow that's very cost effective and affordable. And if something you couldn't find through this workflow, what's going to happen is this waterfall going to run. The waterfall is a little bit costly, but you can't use it as a big scale unless you have good budget and you have clients. Let's run this one. And once you run this one, it will trigger the waterfall, and it will not run in any of these ones. It will run only on the ones that you couldn't find their emails, right? I have disabled everything to be manual on this table so we can run it, but usually when it's automated, this run can find this one, will run automatically, etc., etc. And then what happens is you aggregate all the emails from the 2 output, which is this one and the waterfall, and then it automatically goes to your email marketing tool, and then it goes out automatically, which is happy days. Let's hope this find. So this one will not run unless this one has failed, and this one will not run unless this one has failed, and etc. If one of them found the email, the rest is not going to run because that will stop the waterfall, right? Let's try this one. You get where I'm heading with that. I don't want to make this video any longer. It's already long enough. All All right, error. Then the other one ran automatically. All right, come on, find it. No email found. Okay. So you can keep adding more tools till you actually find anybody's email you want to find, and then it will add it to the email marketing tool and run. This is the manual way. So Monitor Webhook way will run exactly the same way, but with the interaction of make.com. So you will make the API call from here using this information and using your API keys, and then it will show you the output. So basically, I used which API I called in here? I guess real-time job time scraper. This one, find email address, search employees. So you can find an API. Let's say you're looking for a job. Call an API. This one, LinkedIn helper. Let me pause and find this API for you guys. Alrighty, this is the API, LinkedIn Job Search API. So you can come to this API. We can come in here and see, all right, what is the pricing for this as example? So if you go the plan, so you can make 5,000 requests for 75, which is very affordable. Because $75 for 5,000 high intent leads is definitely good, and it gives you really good parameters to filter with. So if you look in here, you go to parameters, see, okay, you can filter by title, location, organization, description, and all of that. And you can go to the example response and you see, all right, if I call this endpoint, this is the information that's going to come back to me. So we call this API from make.com. And then, okay, I call this API, and then, okay, once you call it with the parameters you added, I guess that was an email marketing or SEO. Yeah, SEO. All right, that gets you the title, it gets you the company information, it gets you the location, you like the place. You can look for all the information that this API gets to you, even the guy who posted the job. You see here that it's full-time. You see the job board. You can like also call APIs that not just getting you like jobs from LinkedIn, but also can get you jobs from so many different places. Okay, LinkedIn. You see here, you have the company description, and here you, I guess, if we search in here, LinkedIn, you see that the person who posted it, I saw it. URL. You need to look for it. We'll find the person URL in here, and what you're gonna do simply is using a webhook. So if you go in here, Clay is telling you, okay, use this webhook, okay, to pass information to this table. And you pass information to this table, and then you use the same thing we've done in here. You write to another table, and this table will pass it to the workflow, and you enable, because in here I disabled auto update. If auto update is on, this whole thing gonna run on automation without any interaction. So the moment a job post come in here, let's try to see that really quick to end this video, because it took so long. So we can clear these companies so we don't look in these companies. So it's like an email marketing specialist. Let's look in United States, United Kingdom, whatever. All right, let's look for 20, and let's look for the past 7 days actually, so we don't get old stuff closed, whatever, like we're testing anyway. All right, let's add in this. Let's watch it live. Okay, it will write to other table. What's gonna happen? Look here. Okay, no rows found, no rows found, no rows found. That automatically queued and started to enrich the tables. Let's move on with it. And that automatically added the row to the sheet, and that automatically found the lead, and then found the person, but it didn't find the email. But for some reason, this one doesn't run. But here, yeah, this one actually ran. All right, email. Come on, don't mess that up. Alrighty, the waterfall. Come on. and then it basically pass it to the lead. And by the way, forgot to say there's a validation through zero bounds between every of this step, and it has to pass for the next one. Not so if it found the email, but it bounced, the next one will run also. So let's go back and see what happened in here. All right, you found more leads. Okay. So you got the idea, and then you do your mapping. Like you can take it 10 times a step further, but just this is it just to pass one specific information. Because what you can do once that happen is you can take the job title and you say, hey, John, I see you just posted the job on LinkedIn. And you can use AI to read the job description and to write the most critical things they actually looking for to um, like achieving that role. See, I see you hiring for X, and I see that it's crucial for you to have him actually good in doing flows on Klaviyo for email marketing. Reaching out, then you can use a service-based lead magnets. It's like reaching out as I just prepared, let's say, few email templates that I would like to share with you. I guess they will get you X reply rate. And this is on the house. Would you mind give it a shot? Then you have the intent, you have irresistible offer, soft call to action, then your reply rate gonna skyrocket. And you build that once and then it keep running. So you can use AI after these, you getting the leads to use the script, and but this is not the topic of that video. I have to conclude. It's 36 minutes so far. I spoke for too much. Thank you so much, guys. I wish you find value. Like and subscribe for more videos about Clay if you are interested in it. I will like blur my API keys and stuff, and then I will add these tables on the description. So you don't have to spend the hours I spent building this table. You just duplicate it and take it and add your APIs, and happy days. Good luck. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist. Happy prospecting.